Now, she was always by her father's side, from home to political rallies. Were moments of close bonds. This is Winnie Odinga. Born into the glare of a powerful name, she spent her life growing into it, shaping her own voice in his long shadow. But nothing could prepare her for the moment the light of that legacy dimmed. Tonight, our special reporter, Agutu Rosa, looks at the woman behind the name, the daughter who held her father's hand in life and in death.
All her life, Winnie Odinga was at her father's side. She was born in the shadow of a name that at a young age was not only confusing but also enchanting. Yet, the older she got, the more she embraced it. During their childhood outings, she would wonder why people always followed and adored her father. As Kenyan politics got more and more complicated and bare-knuckled, she attended political rallies where her father would deliver touching speeches.
Dad, I know you don't like protocols, so today I'll just call you Baba.
While sometimes enduring insults, jeers and cheers. Even in election losses, she was there as the chogo, meaning last born in the law. And when the time came, and the light of the legend dimmed, it was in her arms that the man she knew as father, mentor, and head of the house transitioned to the other world. As footage and photos of her father lying in casket were seen for the first time, Winnie was and has been there. While she looked defeated and devastated by the loss, she stood beside the casket holding her father's famous fedora hat that she later placed on top of the casket. She would later give the fedora hat to her mother. Winnie would always go back home with her father, but this time the trip was different. She would always sit beside him on the plane, chatting and taking selfies. This time, she sat on the plane while her father was being carried as a cargo in a box. During her father's state funeral at Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi, Winnie's tribute was touching.
The biggest part of me died on the 15th of October 2025. But the spirit of the lion rose on forever. Fellow mourners, I was with him in India when he took his last breath. He died in my arms.
She struggled to stay strong, but grief has a morbid way of crushing a mortal.
He died strong, when with dignity and with pride. And you must be proud of that.
Unlike the political campaigns, this time she stood on a podium and her father was not there to cheer her on. Winnie Odinga was born on 6th March 1990 to Ida Betty Odinga and Raila Odinga. During Raila's burial, her mother Ida explained why she named her Winnie.
The fourth child, when I went to the hospital, and you know those mothers, you end up somewhere in labor ward. And I was watching the television, I could see Nelson Mandela and Winnie Mandela holding hands as Mandela walked out of the gates of the prison. By then, I didn't know what kind of child I was going to get. But then I said, if it's a boy, we'll name him Wilson Mandela. But if it's a girl, will be Winnie Mandela. And therefore, Winnie Mandela arrived. And that's the fourth child.
Winnie went to Rusinga School, then Brookhouse School, before heading to the United States for further studies. She did a double major, communications and international business and economics. For a while, Winnie did not want to use the Odinga name because she felt it created perceptions. During the 2015 interview on KTN, she said, when you're a child of a politician, you either love politics or hate politics. But one thing you can't deny is you are a little bit of a politician. A few years later, in a different interview, Winnie said, every child of a politician would have thoughts of political ambitions. During her father's campaign, she worked in the Secretariat in Communications and Operations, making sure the campaign ran smoothly. Before the Azimio campaigns, her father sent her to participate in election campaigns around the African continent, including in Tanzania, DR Congo, and Zimbabwe. Winnie was nominated to the Regional Legislative Assembly, IALA, by the Orange Democratic Movement in November 2022, from where she was elected by both houses of the Kenyan Parliament. Winnie said she ignores negative comments about her family. However, she gets very defensive when they touch her sister Rosemary, brother Junior, and their mother. When her brother Fidel passed away in January 2015, Winnie says she went through the worst depression. However, her sister-in-law convinced her to start therapy, and it worked. There's a huge gap between Winnie and her older siblings. Her father was in detention without trial for nearly a decade, and Winnie was born after the detention. The age gap between her and her siblings meant that she learned to be a lone ranger most of her life. She is protective of her father's legacy. As a child who was lost with her father, all the memories are cherished. While grief may change in shape, it never goes away. As the nation buries the late former Prime Minister who shaped the political landscape of the nation, no pain is greater than the memory of the past joys in the family's current grief.
Joey!
Agutu Rosa, KTN.
Joey! Joey! Rest in peace, Dad.